Hi everyone. Have you ever wondered how many thoughts you have each day? I googled this and the answer is somewhere between 6,000 and 60,000, which tells me that answering that question is a pretty inexact science. If we had 60,000 thoughts a day, that's one thought in less than 1.5 seconds. At that rate, they definitely can't be fully formed. They're probably like lots of fragments or mismatched pieces of a mosaic, trying to put themselves together, but not necessarily being able to create a whole picture. We might feel like our mind is the surface of the sea in a storm with the choppy water being whipped up by the wind. And we might wonder, is there a way to help calm the mind and access the inner wisdom, which definitely lies in the deeper, stiller waters beneath? Well, one way that I've found able to do this is through journaling, and that's what I want to chat about today. Have you ever tried journaling? Perhaps you're keen, but you're not sure where to begin. Perhaps you've considered it, but maybe some perfectionist tendencies got in the way because you were desperate to find the perfect notebook or the perfect pen or maybe the perfect time to do it. Maybe you've discounted it because you don't think of yourself as a writer. You'd be embarrassed by whatever you might produce. Maybe you had a really difficult time at school and you were told that you're no good at this and your spelling is awful. Well, perhaps over the next few minutes, there might be a few things in here that could encourage you to give it a go, because I really find it works for me. So the benefits of journaling, in the first instance, as I said, it helps to calm the mind. Imagine if you have those 60,000 thoughts a day, we need something that's going to help to still it and bring a bit of slowness. For me, the journaling is really important because I handwrite my thoughts. If you can, I encourage you to do so as well. Main reason is that my hand absolutely cannot keep up with the amount of thoughts that my brain can produce. So immediately, that necessarily slows down the thought process. The other thing that I like to do is I like to try and write in whole sentences. Some people like to bullet point their thoughts, but I find that writing in whole sentences, again, forces me to have to slow down because I need to have complete thoughts. I need to have something that perhaps has a beginning and a middle and an end. And I can't interrupt myself when I'm doing that process and go off on tangents at a whim because something has flitted through my brain. The other reason why I find journaling so useful in calming my mind is because it helps to get things off my chest. Things that I might be worried about, things that I might feel a deep amount of shame around, perhaps, that I might be scared to say out loud. Writing those things down, getting them out of my mind and my heart, is like putting them into a completely separate box. It's a box that I still own. I'm still the custodian of that box. You know, I can go back and reread these things if I ever wanted to, though I tend not to. But at least it's not cluttering up my body and my mind and my heart. I've managed to get it out. And then from that calmer state, we can then think about accessing the wisdom that lies within all of us. You are so wise. Okay? You have answers within you. Each one of us has answers within us. You know what the next steps might be for you if you're wanting to do something. You just need a way to access it. And if you've ever been coached, or if you're a coach, you know that a coach doesn't tell you what to do. Instead, a coach asks really good questions that help you to explore deep within sometimes accessing really closed off areas and perhaps values that help you to understand what you already know, you just didn't know you knew it. So as we write in journaling, we really start peeling away the layers. And it's okay if what you're writing is not linear. It's okay if it's not connected thoughts. It's okay if it's not especially coherent. Just write. Okay? And allow your slower brain to access some of the wisdom which is held deeper within. So those are some of the benefits I find, calming the mind and accessing that inner wisdom. So what different types are there, or where might you begin? Well, the simplest form of journaling I found is just completely unstructured. Blank page, pen, and just start writing. Perhaps to get going, you might simply ask yourself, how do I feel right now? What do I feel? And where within my body do I feel it? Those are enough just to get going, believe it or not. Now, if you want though, another type of journaling might be semi-structured. So where you specifically look out a set of prompts, a set of questions that will help you to gather your thoughts around a particular issue. I did this the other day. I knew that I wanted to explore an issue, so I just literally Googled it. I said some prompts to help me unpack the particular issue. And I found about 6 or 7, and that was enough. That was enough to give me a sense of structure and to unpack and understand what I didn't even know that I thought about on these things. In fact, I'll tell you that I used it for the understanding how I feel about my body and my how healthy I'm eating. And that enabled me to recognize, that I actually have a fear of hunger and even a fear of boredom, which I was using eating to mask. And that when I continued to explore those thoughts within me, it was actually that I recognized that I was completely out of alignment with my identity. And all of this came through journaling. The last way that I find journaling really helpful, or type of journaling that you might want to do, is journaling which helps to give form to ideas. So deliberately sitting down and writing in order to understand all of the thoughts you have about an issue, because you want to bring them together in order to create something which is coherent. You want to create content. You have a presentation to put together. You want to write a speech. But if you're anything like me, you sit down and you stare at a blank page and you just have this utter fear of it. Also, I have found that in the past, one of the reasons why I was so afraid of that blank page is because I felt like I had to write a final product. What I started writing had to be the end thing straight away, and I wasn't allowing any part of a process to help me go from the beginning through to the end. And so sometimes I use journaling quite intentional to just splurge on the page and understand what are all the things that I think about something and that I want to be able to express. And then I go back to it. This is one of the only times when I revisit journaling, because I want to review it and I want to make sense of it. And then I might draw some thoughts into a particular order and a particular structure. It's exactly what I did for putting together this short talk today about journaling, in fact. So I hope that some of the things that I've chatted about today help you perhaps see that journaling might be of use to you. It might bring you some benefits. You might be encouraged to give it a go. But remember something, please. Suspend all forms of inner criticism. suspend your judgment about what you're thinking and about what you're writing, because your head and your heart have to be able to trust you that they can unpack what's going on without being criticized for it. All the very best and good luck if you do give it a go.